Today, I am reacting to creating the perfect arrowverse villain. Okay, so, same type of thing. I'm just going to be commenting on what he said about it, and give you my opinion, of course, and giving an explanation why I'd pick that instead of what he picked.
Arrowverse has had over 100 villains inside of its universe, but what's the best villain that we ever got? I did a video talking about that already. Today, I want to create the perfect Arrowverse villain, basically the villain that would be able to take down everyone.
Almost everyone. Watch my, like I said before, in the description, Flash versus everyone. Yeah, everyone. That means everybody at once. So, yeah, I'm afraid this won't work. Monitor, he's defeated the Monitor. He's built the device in less than a second to destroy him. Cause him to infinitely shrink.
Now, I'm not going to include the anti-Monitor in this video just because that would be too easy. I have everything broken.
Even though Flash would easily defeat him. Because he already easily defeated him. Well, sort of. Superhero threw it, but he built it. Cisco designed it, well, him and Ryan Choi, and no, actually Ray did not do it, but yeah, they built it together. And no, actually Ray did help build it. I just remembered. Yeah, but yeah, they helped build it. But yeah, Flash is, like I said, very smart. He can easily build something that can do that too by himself. So yes, he could definitely defeat Anti-Monitor and everybody else, like I said.
Broken down into 5 different categories. We're going to mash up the traits of every Arrowverse villain to create the best, perfect Arrowverse villain to not lose. Let's get right into this video, and the first trait that I have here.
The strength. Well, something I went up against. One of the ultimate heroes already, or not ultimate heroes, we're making a villain. Yeah, one of the ultimate villains in the Arrowverse is, well, Eobard Thawne. Not this one, because he's in the yellow suit. I'm talking about the negative Flash. The one in this suit. The one you're watching now. The one in this suit, negative Flash. The power of the Strength Force. Close to infinite strength? Not quite. Barry technically is a tad bit stronger because it's the positive forces. And the negative forces would kill whoever has the power of it if they were to give even a close boost to give it even closer to him, but they can't reach that far without killing the person that they're trying to give it to. So, yes, he is definitely stronger, definitely a lot stronger than Supergirl. And
Here is strength. Thought about Rain, who was built to kill Kryptonians.
Yeah. That too. Stronger than her. Can't give you a super accurate saying of which one's stronger because, well, Negative Flash didn't really physically show us his strength personally. But we do know because of what it is, the Strength Force, and you know how it correlates with the positive forces. We know that it does give him close to infinite strength, but can't give him, well, actual infinite strength because they have to be a little bit less than the positive speed force. It's the only way they can actually work, and then they can't give him all their power anyways because if they do, then the host dies. So yes, we can get the negative strength force. It will be stronger than her strength. But, yeah, but it will be stronger than her, so, yeah.
That we've seen over the entirety of the run of this universe. Strength and power isn't the only thing that's important with a villain. You need to be smart. Let's talk about IQ. Now,
so, he, again, I went right for him. I will continue talking about it right after he talks.
I think this is the easiest one, but maybe I'm wrong and I'm forgetting someone. I think IQ should go to Lex Luthor.
Yeah, not really. He's a good one, but I still pick Eobard Thawne.
So this villain's going to have the strength of Rain and the IQ of Lex Luthor. Now, obviously, Lex Luthor is a brilliant scientist. He's a brilliant businessman. We've seen him kind of think on the fly in fights. So I think he has an all-around good IQ when it comes to everything, whether, it's building up a strategy or needing to build a, I don't know, any device or anything like that, build some weapons. He's a good enough businessman to, if he lost his company or something, he could definitely build it from the ground up again, to fund his villainous operations. I didn't really know who else to consider. I thought about like maybe Damien Dark. He seemed very smart, especially with him being alive for a long time. Same thing as Raj.
Just for history type things, there is a limit, of if you gotta learn, though, you gotta try to learn. Like, he's not as old, but he's definitely very smart for it. There is something like, if you don't, try to learn as much and try to learn how to strategize and stuff, you don't quite learn as much, which Lex definitely did more than Damien Dark would have. Lex is definitely a good candidate.
Raj Al Ghul, but I went with Lex Luthor because I think it's the most obvious option, but I do feel like I'm forgetting someone when it comes to just purely the smartest villains. Okay, I do remember who it was. Smartest villain, the IQ. Let's go the Thinker. I knew I was forgetting.
Thinker's definitely a good one. He was my second option, which I was thinking of also when he was talking about Lex. Well, yeah, Thinker's the smartest man alive. Is the fastest man? Not quite. There's two things. First of all, he was out-thunk. Like I said before, remember what I said in the last thing? He out-thunked the Thinker. This is going to be important. Remember, he wants to make a villain that will be able to beat all of them. Flash can outthink the Thinker. Infinite strength, which means he has more strength than Rain. Just remember that. I'll talk after the end of this section. Just a second. See if there's any more clips I need.
Forgetting someone. We're going to go the Thinker for IQ. So this villain's going to have the mind of the Thinker and the strength of Rain. I think that was the most obvious choice. I don't know how I missed that. But yeah, so Lex Luthor will be the runner-up. Like I said, also...
Lex would be third for me. I put Eobard Thawne on top for a few reasons. If the Reverse Flash wants to make your life a living hell, he will try everything he can, which he would have done if time didn't mess with him, because he wanted to kill the Flash and stuff like that. But he couldn't, otherwise he would die too, because he would have to have the Flash be there for him to know how to do that, to originally do that in the first place. So yeah, he would have to do that. But otherwise he's an expert strategist, able to even plan things through time. He's planned almost everything. The only thing he didn't plan for, well, is Eddie Thawne shooting himself. Other than that, it's the very end at, there's just a few things where they just managed to, Team Flash just managed to outthink him in just a certain way. One where Eobard Thawne figures out a way to take over Nash Wells, but they just figure out a way how to make Nash take control of it, a hold of his body again. CW Flash just had more power. He didn't really actually use any of his strategy during the very end battle, but when he died, which is why, it didn't work. He lost rather fast. Back at the beginning with Armageddon, to create Armageddon, basically, he planned that. The Thinker planned that and failed. Reverse Flash planned that, succeeded, and then Flash eventually did be able to do it. Remember, we're just taking villains, we're not taking heroes, so I can't take the Flash. But I can take Eobard Thawne. So I would pick that, and thinking, stuff like that.
also consider Damien Dark and Ra's al Ghul for the role, or for this position. All right, so we have strength down, we have IQ down. Let's talk about fighting skills, fighting ability, basically like your martial arts ability. If you're gonna get in a fight.
So I'm just gonna skip real quick to the end with this. Where'd he?
Oliver obviously gets better from that point on.
Okay. I totally agree with what he says in this section. Ra's al Ghul. That's the one I pick, actually. I totally agree with you. Okay, on to the next session. Next section.
Alright, so our villain now has the strength of Rain, the IQ of the Thinker, and the fighting capabilities of Ra's al Ghul. What does our villain need next? Our villain needs some superpowers. And I think maybe this one's the most obvious pick. Let's give them the power of Reverse Flash, Speedster ability.
Speedster abilities, yep. So, something that, Mason, I'm not sure if you're watching this. Mason, I'm not sure if you watched, the end of Season 8 with Negative Flash. But I'd rather pick Negative Flash than Reverse Flash because then you get a few extra powers. Just don't have the forces overcharge you to the point where you're going to die. Then you're going to have some extra powers. A good amount of powers. And there's only one guy in the entire universe that is going to be able to, in the entire multiverse, which is going to be able to defeat that hero, which is Flash, like I said before.
Abilities. I think that's just the most obvious one, right? I don't know. Maybe you could go with like being Kryptonian, just because there's a bunch of abilities that come with that as well. But I think if we're talking just pure, powers, abilities, you got to go with like the Speedster abilities. So we're gonna go Reverse Flash.
Yeah, it's a good one. But like I said, I'd add the other three forces with it, so you'd be a bit more powerful. So yes, that is a good one. I'd add a few more powers, but again, still won't be able to defeat
everything that he does, he can do as well. Right, summing it up again: the strength of Rain, the IQ of the Thinker, the fighting abilities of Ra's al Ghul, and what other superpowers? They have Speedster abilities like Reverse Flash. The last thing is, our villain needs to wear something. They need to wear a suit. So what suit should they wear? I was thinking about Deathstroke, because it comes well equipped with weapons, right? We see they kind of has those, I guess you could say, those utility belts, a lot of pouches to store weapons and stuff like that. The sword, of course, and it seems fairly protective.
Yeah, I am actually going to be going to this point.
I think the best suit that our villain could wear is the Lexo suit. So
I do think, yes, that is probably the best idea for a suit. There's not a whole lot of other ones, like great ones. Like there are a lot of good ones, but if you want a suit that helps you in certain ways, that's definitely a good one. Speedster, Batwoman. Again, I don't remember her name. But here, just a second. I'm going to cut to, or you're not going to notice anything, but I'm going to cut to after I looked up the name so I actually know what it is. Red Death. Red Death. That's what it was. I looked it up. Okay.
Think about it this way. I don't know how this would work technically speaking. I don't know if this would be a thing. Probably not, because Supergirl's worn the Lexo suit, and I don't think it's granted her more power than she already had. But the Lexo suit gives you power, on par with the Kryptonian. So imagine just...
So yeah, I mean, you have the powers of, Negative Flash. Well, you get Kryptonian powers too. Wait, don't you already have Kryptonian powers with that? I mean, the Lexo suit doesn't hinder anything, but it doesn't really help anything a whole lot based on the powers you already have with Negative Flash. But out of the suits, if you want a suit that'll help you out, that's probably the best one there is. I mean, we've seen the Red Death. The reason I wanted to look it up, the reason I wanted to look at the Red Death is because basically she has a suit just like the Lexo suit, gives her powers of a speedster. It's not the powers of Kryptonian like the Lexo suit, but it gives them the powers of a speedster. And they look about this. I mean, they don't look about the same. They look actually relatively the same, but actually the look is pretty similar. But like the bulkiness of it, the armor type thing of it, it's not going to get in the way of running. Like, it's not slipstream that much, but it apparently, she could run just fine in it. So, it wouldn't, slow down, negative flash powers. But, I mean, it won't help you a whole lot anyways, because you technically already have those powers. So, yeah, you basically have that, yeah. So yeah, that's probably the best one, if you want to have something, even if you already have those powers. No other suit's really going to help you a whole lot after that.
And the suit is the Lexo suit.
Okay.
Abilities of Ra's al Ghul. Perfect arrowverse villain. So we got the strength of Rain, the IQ of the Thinker, the fighting abilities of Ra's al Ghul, the power set abilities of Reverse Flash, and the suit is the Lexo suit. Now, I could be completely wrong in my opinions here, but again, it is my opinion, so I can't be wrong in my opinions. But there might be some better choices here that I missed. I haven't watched, the Arrowverse in its entirety in forever. I rewatch things sometimes, here and there, but I'm not consistently.
Yep. Like I said, it's his opinion. He can't be wrong in his opinion. This is just me, in my opinion, and me reacting to his and saying what I would change from his. So, strength, I would go with the negative strength force, or just negative flash again. IQ, I'd also go with Eobard Thawne because of his ability to think through time, not just think regularly like the Thinker does. Fighting skill, I'd pick Ra's al Ghul. I mean, he's the best one I could think of in the entire Arrowverse. So, I think he's, perfect pick. Superpowers, negative flash, not quite reverse flash, a few more powers added onto it. And a little bit faster in the Speed Force area too. But not as much to kill him, but, enough to give him a massive amount of powers. That would add more powers to it. So, yes, good choice for that, but I just do the upgraded version of negative flash. Suit-wise, doesn't really help a whole lot, but yes, the Lexo suit is perfectly fine. Works. I mean, it wouldn't really help the villain very much because of their powers, but, I mean, it's a suit that's protective, even though someone like the Flash, with a phasing hand can break it apart, phase into it, and kick the person inside of it out and then vibrate until it breaks, like he did with Savitar's suit. You can do stuff like that, but it's the best suit I can think of that would really help a lot in any sort of way. It wouldn't really, it's the best suit I can think of. I can't really think of a better suit that'll help. But, maybe Savitar's suit, it has a blade instead. I don't think the Lexo suit has a blade. But, it's not really going to add a whole lot of powers, so. Suit's okay. You could change it to Savitar's suit, but, besides that, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to skip to this part. Okay. So that is my opinion, and what I'd change about, his list, and his opinion. Well, I'm not changing his specific opinion. I'm just saying what my opinion is based off of his, and what I'd change from his opinion. So that has been creating the perfect Arrowverse villain, and which one is better between the two. Just changing a few things, saying what I think in my opinion, stuff like that. Just watch that other video if you want to learn more about what I think about the Flash. This doesn't really need anything about it, but again, he says, I think it made the perfect villain. Not quite. Well, at the beginning he said he wanted to make the villain that could defeat every single hero. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think pretty much I just ask for the negative flash except for fighting skill. And yeah, I don't think they'd be able to defeat Flash. And if they're all working together, like they did with Anti-Monitor, I don't know, they can win there too. So that's my opinions for these two videos. Mason, if you're watching, tell me what you think of my opinions and what my reaction is to yours. And everybody else, tell me what your idea was about this. I will see you in another video, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and bye.